Yo, what's good, everyone? Rolo Tornado Jr. here, dunksrnice, and today, I got another comparison review for you guys. I got another, and then the 2020-2001 Dunk Low Plums, not SB. Just putting it out there because some of you guys think that the Plums are SBs, but they're not. The highs were. But besides all that, I'm actually doing another comparison review, and these are kind of my specialty that I like to do on this channel. So without wasting anybody's time, let's jump to the video. Starting the video off first, I want to go in and talk about the box itself. Obviously, the 2001 box is a lot more slimmer and longer compared to the 2021. It's a lot larger, and then you have that big Nike logo with the white swoosh on top. But besides that, it's the shoe tag specifically that's a major difference. Number one, on the 2020 where it says Nike Dunk Low SP, you have its retail box price of $100. It's the size where it says 9, and it just looks a little funky, a little weird. And then if you look at the 2001 box tag, this one obviously says Nike Dunk Pro Low B, and the 9 looks way different. It looks a lot better in my opinion. I'm going with the 2001 box tag. You guys could pick which one you like better, whether you like the 2020 or you like the 2001. But I did want to go ahead and put that out there. These are the boxes that they do come in. All right, now for the shoes itself, obviously we're going to talk about the elephant in the room is obviously the color. One, you have the 2001 pair, a lot darker compared to the 2020 pair. A big difference in the two. One is darker, one is lighter, and I just want to go ahead and point that. And obviously that you see the swoosh as well, a lighter versus a darker tone. Again, that's one thing obviously that you see as a big difference in the two. The other thing that I did want to go in and point out is obviously the shape. If you compare it side by side, the 2020 pair obviously has a more rounder, wider look to it in the front end, but if you look at the 2001 pair, it's a little bit more narrow. It looks like it forms to your foot a little bit better, but obviously with the newer retros, you're not going to get the same thing specifically like the old version of the Dunks. But I did want to go in and point that out there, that the 2020 retro, the shape is a lot different compared to the 2001 pair. Now in terms of the suede, that's one thing that I always was curious about with this 2020 retro. How does it feel? Do you think they use good materials? And I gotta say, I'm very impressed on this 2020 retro. Now, moving the suede back and forth, feeling the material choices that they use on the 2020 pair actually feels really nice. It has that really nice soft touch to it. But compared to the 2001, the only slight difference is it's just a little bit more softer. It's as close as it can be. But when you get to the inner panel parts that you see here on the lighter side, it's almost as identical, very similar. The only two difference between that is on the darker parts of the purple of the suede. That's the other difference. But otherwise than that, they really did use good material choices on the suede upper. So I'm very impressed on that. The mesh materials that they've used on the 2001 pair is a lot different comparing it to the 2020 pair. You could obviously see it here that the 2001 pair has like this shiny effect to it, while the mesh material choices that they use on the 2020 pair is a big difference. You can obviously see it here in the two. Now, if we're going to be honest with this tongue tag, I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there that the 2020 tongue tag isn't great looking comparing it to the 2001 tongue tag. There's just a big difference. The 2021 looking completely off. When I first saw that picture that surfaced on the internet, I was like, yo man, what kind of tongue tag is that? They could have gone a lot of different tongue tags, but they decided to go with this one. I wasn't feeling that as much. That's one thing, if you were to ask me to change anything, is be specifically that. But otherwise than that, here's a side-by-side comparison. You guys let me know which one you guys like more. I think you guys already know my choice, but here it is side-by-side with the tongue tag. Now in terms of the padding on the tongues, I did want to go in and put that out there that the 2001 pair has padding comparing it to the 2020. You barely feel any padding. It feels like they just got the two mesh materials on the tongue, stitched it up together, and that's pretty much what you got. There's not really any padding on it that I feel comparing it with the 2001 pair. In terms of the padding on the 2020 pair, I was very impressed. It actually has a lot more padding comparing to the 2001. The only big differences besides the material choices that they use on a sock liner is actually the 2001 is a lot more soft, but the 2020 pair has a lot more padding. That's one thing I did notice also, but I was very impressed that they did that on the retro pair. The Nike stitching on the back part of the 2001 pair is a little bit more larger comparing it with the 2020. But the one thing I did notice in the two is that there is a height difference in the two. In the 2001 pair, it's a little bit more shorter comparing it with the 2020. The 2020 is a little bit more higher in terms of the length. In terms of the laces, obviously there is a big difference in the two. The 2001 pair on the Ugly Duckling series came with the more fatter style laces, while the 2020 pair of the Plums came with the more skinnier type laces that you're more familiar with seeing, but there is a difference in the laces. One of the things that I do appreciate about with retros is the attention to details. The sole part where the stars are at, they try to match it as identical as possible on with the stars that you see here on the front part. But with the retros, that's one thing I always do really appreciate about it, is the attention to details. It may not be as close as possible, but with the effort of it, that's something that I really do appreciate. Before I go and end this video, I want to go ahead and put that out there that the sizing of the shoe is actually true to size. You don't need to go half size down. You don't need to go half size up. It's true to size. It fits pretty great on foot. This is coming from experience from rocking the 2001 pair. I'll tell you this right now. The 2001 pair is as good as it gets. It's a little bit more narrow, but it feels really great on your foot, really true to size. The 2020 pair, because of the padding that's on the ankle area, the sock liner area, there's more padding. It's a little bit more round, a little more spacious on the foot, so I do really appreciate that. But in terms of sizing up dunks, it is basically true to size. You don't need to go half size up or half size down for those that are very curious, but on foot, it feels really great for this 2020 pair. I did want to go ahead and mention that no, I'm not upset that they did retro the Plums. I do have an appreciation for retros itself. You know, it makes these kind of videos fun comparing the two. But I did think that if you're gonna go ahead and retro or bring something back, you would make it as identical or as close as possible. In this case, the Plums itself. But overall, I did just have an appreciation for that. But otherwise than that, let me know what you guys think about the 2020 Dunk Low Plums. Do you guys like them, dislike them? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And if you haven't yet, hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't. Until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out, you guys.